second. But yes, tonight is the blue moon. Now, on Wednesday, August 30th, that is today, no doubt you'll hear the mainstream media proclaiming that on tonight we will witness a supermoon. It's a term, or more specifically, a branding of relatively recent origin. It originated not from astronomy, but from astrology. First covered by an astrologer who defined it as a full moon, which occurs when the moon is near or 90% of the closest approach to Earth in a given orbit. The blue moon will rise just after sunset at 7:10 EDT, and about 25% of all full moons are supermoons, but only 3% of all full moons are blue moons, wrote NASA scientists on the Earth's Moon website. The time between super blue moons is quite irregular. It can be as much as 20 years, but in general, 10 years is the average. The next super blue moons will occur in a pair in January and March in 2037. But there's also a drawback. A full moon nearly coinciding with the pedigree means that for several days around August 30th, the range of tides will be much larger than normal. Low tides will be unusually low, while high tides will run unusually high, perhaps even resulting in minor coastal flooding, which is great because we already have a hurricane going. So I'm sure that people by the water are real happy to hear about that one.
That's that's definitely interesting to point out, Riley. It's definitely, it's one of those things where when NASA makes these types of announcements, it's one of those things where people are really interested. They want to see these things for themselves, and like you said, unfortunately for people who live along the shoreline, along the East Coast or wherever, it might be a little bit difficult for them with those tides changing with the blue moon.
Well, maybe the moon will be pretty enough to keep up to that.
Yeah, but it only happens like once in a blue moon, guys.
You're right.
Good
right,
job.
Alex. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, you're right.
it's almost like I said that in writing there, buddy.
I mean, as Riley said, the next super blue moons will probably happen in 2037. So that's definitely, I think, once in a blue moon because.
But there's two then, so that's two.
Oh, okay.
There's not. I'm not gonna make a
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, that's definitely something really interesting because I remember related to this, a couple of years ago, I think there was something related to an eclipse happening, which something is like, it's where the sun gets covered a little bit.
Yep.
And again, like we said before, people want to see it, even if it's not going to happen for a long time after that or sometime. It's not something that happens every single day. It's not like you have that chance every chance you get, right?
At least you can look at this one without going blind.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's right. Because I remember I tried looking at the eclipse.
And Aiden went blind.
I tried looking at it and it wasn't working. It wasn't working.
This is where you find this out.
Didn't work. I didn't see
Got
anything.
a big braille sheet.
I didn't see anything. Yeah, I remember. I faintly remember that.
That's like, that's exactly almost the date. That's
Yeah.
actually crazy.
Yeah, but well, I didn't. It was no difference because it was just like you were blocking from the sunlight as usual. We couldn't see it.
Yeah, we couldn't see it up in Jersey.
Yeah, so again, it's gonna be definitely really it's gonna be really interesting to see how those things play out with the blue moon and the different things that happen related to our astrology. Moving on, yeah, with those. So, what's something that's not a blue moon? Something that's not really rare that happens is the fact that Montclair consistently breaks its own record.
Woo!
With people coming in each year.
Yeah.
As according to Montclair.edu, this fall's class of 2027 is the third consecutive year that Montclair State has welcomed its largest incoming class. And as of this week, Montclair State welcomed 4,186 first-year students to the Red Hawk family and increased the total enrollment of students to over 22,000, each one having access to over $32 million in federal financial aid. And aside from that groundbreaking number, the Bloomfield College Merger was also completed this past June, which welcomed more than 900 students into what is now known as Bloomfield College of Montclair State University. And here's some quick numbers for your listeners if you're interested in hearing some. Out of the 4,186 incoming students, altogether, they hail from 34 different states and 12 different countries, with 45% of them identifying as Hispanic, and 44 are first-generation college students. And regarding all of this information, this groundbreaking news, President Jonathan Capel had some more to say, and he said, quote, "It is particularly gratifying that our largest number of enrollment is a result not just of new students coming to Montclair, but a record number of students returning to campus to continue their education and complete their degree." And that's definitely something that we can all attest to in this room, including Gwen, because we're all returning people this semester, right? And I think it's really cool how Montclair is trying to incorporate as many new students as possible, looking to get a higher education, especially when they're from all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean,
34 states, 12 different countries.
Red Hawk Day was yesterday. Did you guys see how big it was? There were so many people there. There was an awful lot of people. Like, it was actually very interesting to just look into the crowd and see all the red.
That's definitely right, Riley. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely really interesting how now it happens every fall. It's Red Hawk Day. Most of the campus's clubs, set up little tables to get people involved, and it definitely helps because it shows them, what there is to offer. Maybe outside like their general classes, right? And it's definitely really, really interesting thing about, because like I said before, with the Bloomfield merger, that kind of builds into that increase in enrollment, right? Because we talked about it last semester. Bloomfield College was on the brink of disbanding. They said if we don't get help from any higher institution, we probably are going to close because we need help. And under President Capel, Montclair State put its hand in its programs, and that's what really revitalized, I think, that community. And now it's Bloomfield College of Montclair State University. I think that rolls off the tongue really nicely.
I was about to say a bit of a mouthful, but
no, I think it rolls off the tongue.
Of course, I actually think it's not that bad for a long title.
Yeah, and I'm sure people of Bloomfield are grateful for that type of experience, because it would be a different type of atmosphere if we were sitting here and one of the stories was Bloomfield closed.
Yeah.
That would be really unfortunate, but I think it's really, really intriguing and really something to think about, how President Capel can work around our beloved campus with 22,000 students, and also 7 miles from here, reach the hand into Bloomfield and help them out there as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
And now, listeners, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to return to our regularly scheduled morning buzz. So please stay tuned.
I don't know what's happening.